Hey, thanks for coming back. This is probably about part 4 now. So as you can see, there's a bit of masking tape on here. Spent a bit of time cleaning things up, wire brushing, sanding, air blasting, degreasing, you name it. Yeah, getting it all nice and clean. Now I'm just going through doing some masking. I think I said last time I'm going to mask off from probably through here somewhere down, do the cylinder head and the top here all black, and then back mask the other way and do the bottom in the red. Got the high temperature stuff for the top there since it's going to get hot. So yeah, I'll just do a bit more on this, film a bit of this for you, and maybe throw some paint on. Cool. So I think I've got enough of this masked up now. Everywhere, once I take this up to do some painting on it, I'm just going to be able to shield the rest off, lay some newspaper around things. Not too much wind, so it'll be fine while I spray the paint on. Happy with the line that I've chosen. You know, it's not an accurate line at the moment, but hopefully when I mask back the other way to do the red, I can tidy that up a bit. So yeah, I'm just going to lift this up on a block of wood, take it up on the lawn in the sunshine there, and squirt some paint on the top. See how she looks when it's black. Alright, so I've got it all masked, finished. Put a newspaper around there just to stop some of the overspray. Not too concerned because I'm going to back mask the top anyway. High heat enamel, good for up to 690 degrees Celsius. So spray some of this on and see how she looks. Let that coat dry off for about I don't know, half an hour or so. Come back and whack another one over the top. So while that paint's drying, I'm just going to try out this new toy. Rather than pay someone a lot of money to do sandblasting for me this time, I got the Big Chief sandblasted and painted up. I'm going to give it a go myself. So I've been and bought a little handheld sandblaster, hooked up to my air compressor. Came with a couple of kilos of grit, so I'm going to throw some in and grab one of the small parts and we'll see how it goes. Try it out on this bit, which is the pull start wheel that we got off the centre of the off that flywheel. Give that a go. It's just got some paint on there. I want to pull all of this off back down to the bare aluminium and give it fresh paint. So yeah, put some grit in here and see how it goes. I've never used one of these before, never done it before, so sit it down there and have a go. doing next to nothing. Bouncing off. Yeah, that's interesting. What am I doing wrong? Try it up here, eh? Grab one of the little sheet metal pieces that's a bit different and see what happens. Okay, so it kind of helps if the compressor is up to its full pressure. That's probably why I wasn't having any luck, so that's built back up. We'll have another go. Just got this little piece from the engine shroud. Yeah, it's on that little hinge behind the motor. So we're just going to have a go at that. It's got some surface rust and some paint. Just got it held in a little vise. We'll hit this at 100 psi and see what it does this time. That's the result we're after. Easy peasy. Back to bare metal-ish in there, ready for paint. Have some fun doing this. Lots of bits to go. Camera battery's nearly flat, so shut it off for now and I'll come back and show you some more once I get the batteries charged up. I've made the decision that sandblasting's not really for me. Might be okay on some smaller pieces, but trying it out now, the amount of grit, I've just about gone through one of those kilo bottles. I've just got sand everywhere. I put down a bit of plastic to try and see if I could recover some of it. Did sort of work to recover some, swept it into a bucket and managed to run it back through the gun a second time. But for the result that I was getting, I mean, this is just a little DIY tool, nothing compared to what the professional guys use, so I've got a real appreciation for what they do and how they do it. I mean, grit flying around everywhere, getting in your face and stuff, it's not pleasant. And I haven't got the right gear, so, the right safety gear and that sort of thing, so I'm probably just going to hold off on the sandblasting and go back to the other methods that I've used before, just little wire wheels and battery drills, sandpaper. If I have to, I'll use some chemical paint stripper, but I think for now, if I can get it back to smooth, maybe I won't go all the way back to bare metal, just to smooth enough to put a new primer coat on it, smooth everything, make it all look good again. I think is what I'm gonna do and settle with. So yeah, had to try the sandblasting thing. But there might be other parts further on through the project that I'll have to use them for, especially some of those implements, getting the surface rust off. I think the sandblaster will come into its own then, but I'll come up with a way of recovering the sand, maybe talk to my neighbour, he's got some drums over there, we might be able to cut one of those and make a little sandblasting cabinet of some kind to recover the media, sand, grit, whatever you call it. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on wire brushing and sanding and getting bits ready, and we'll come back to you when I've got an update with some painting and stuff. So, alright, so it's been about an hour since I gave up on that sandblasting idea and put that away. So I've just been persevering with the battery drill and the wire brush. I sort of was having a think about what I said earlier about just going back to flat, but I've gone as far as I can now, back to the bare metal, so which is really cool. Taken me about an hour just with a little wire brush and a battery drill, and I've got a few spots that I'm just going to go over with my sandpaper. Just by hand, just take off those last few little bits and some little tight corners that you can't quite get into with the wire wheel. Get rid of those, and then give this a coat of primer. I've got to get the primer on straight away, or this will just start oxidising and I'll have surface rust and have to do it all over again. So I'm going to whack into that now. Awesome, I'm really pleased that I persevered with it and stripped it right back to this rather than just leaving it and putting the primer over the top of the old stuff. So if I'm going to do it, I may as well do it properly, eh? Alright, carry on working. So So I've done a little bit of painting today, got a few things cleaned up, some experimenting with the paint early on, just sort of gave me a few reminders of what I needed to be doing a bit better. From when I did Big Chief's motor, I remembered that I needed to get all the sheet metal really clean. The degreaser on its own just wasn't cutting it. After I'd done the degreasing, I needed to be cleaning everything down with hot soapy water to get rid of the last of that, get all the degreaser off because there's still a little bit of oil residue. So I've got a few imperfections. I mean, there's a bit of a run down here and a little bit of a fried up part up there, but it's okay. Considering I'm doing things outside under a tree, no spray booth or anything like that, I mean, I'm doing okay. This is the back side of that reduction gearbox. That's just a primer coat on there at the moment, so we'll let that dry off probably overnight, try and give that some top coats tomorrow. It's getting a bit late in the afternoon, already starting to cool off now. So here's the little muffler. Forgot when I had the motor out and did the cylinder head in the top, forgot I needed to do this, so I've done this morning. It's just the high heat black paint on there, so that's that taken care of. Just shoot into the shed. I've got a few other bits and pieces in there that have been done as well, so we'll have a quick look at those just for today's little update, and we'll edit this into the rest of the video along the way too. So yeah, so apologies if the lighting's not that great in here at the moment. You know, it's a gloomy dark day outside, but here's our cylinder head all done, black. Just took the masking tape back off the spark plug there, just didn't need to be on there anymore. So the next job with this is to get it masked around here somewhere, cover up the black so I don't turn the black red. Yeah, so we've got that done, and just sitting over here, got the little piece of the engine shroud. It's come up pretty nice, and the starter pulley. So I masked around that. I figured if the rope's going to run in there's no point painting it, because I'll just get annoyed when I see the paint getting messed up with the starter rope. So anyway, that's come up really nice, I think. Yeah. Okay. So we've still got our boxer bits going on across here. Got some stuff that's been, you know, cleaned up and degreased. I've still got to hook into that with the wire wheel. And there's a couple of bits down here, the other side of the gearbox cover, cleaned and degreased, ready. So yeah, we'll carry on over the next few days, and I'll just keep adding to this video. She's a slow process, so we'll get there though. I don't want to hurry it because I'll end up making the paint messy. I'm not aiming for perfect, but I am aiming for the best that I can do in my current situation. So hopefully that'll come out good. Alright, add some more to this in a day or two. Alright. So today's painting got rained off. Not doing much of that. So we'll just have to do some other little bits of cleaning here and there, and yeah, wait for the sun to come out tomorrow. Yeah, weather's not getting much better out there, so we've just been mucking around in the shed a bit more. A few things, taking care of the little tedious jobs. So I'm going to try out fridge cam for you. I made this little mount that I've got on the fridge here. We're going to give that a go and set the camera up there so I can talk to you. Give you a pause and we'll set it up, eh? Is that a good spot? Stuck on the fridge. A bit more room for me to move, no tripod needed. So done a couple of little bits and pieces today. Pretty rubbish weather outside, so polished up these little plates. Show you them. Got them all cleaned, and thin aluminium, that one. Little brass one. I'm not going to get too carried away. I don't want to take away the black background off them. A little knuckle for the top of the carb. And that governor lever, all brass, nice and shiny. Had all the springs and everything off, of course, but I just reconnected that so nothing goes missing. Air cleaner, wire wheeled all the paint off there. Haven't polished the brass yet because I don't want to get the brass polish onto the raw metal before it's painted, so I'll paint that first with this masked up, and then I'll polish up that brass afterwards. Just into little tiny bits and pieces. Found this quite interesting. This is the banjo bolt from the carburetor assembly. So this block was all together. When I opened it up to take that block off, took the washers out, inside here around the bolt there's another really fine mesh filter inside the banjo bolt. Never seen that before. So there's not only there's this filter in here, as well as here it is, as well as the actual in-tank fuel filter. So yeah, thought that was pretty cool. That's about it for today. I'm gonna pack up and head upstairs. A little bit more, just taking care of fiddly little bits and pieces throughout the day today, since the weather's bad and I can't do anything outside on the bigger bits. I don't want to go using the wire wheel and stripping stuff and making too much of a mess with dust and carry on in here. There's more I have to clean up afterwards, so yeah. Alright, that's today out of the way. Hopefully we can get into some painting when the sun comes out. Carry on. So guys, our painting phase is complete. This is the fuel tank just hanging up here. Came out really well with masking off those decals in the ends. Happy as with that result. Basically the sun came out over the last couple of days. I didn't get a lot of chance to film. I just wanted to hook it and get things taken care of and get it ready to the stage before I go back to work in a couple of days. My time's going to become a bit limited then, so these are the last few bits that just had an extra coat this morning. These the little toggles and the bolts here. I've done the fuel tank straps in black just to add a bit of contrast. Moving along, fuel line polished up. This is the cap for the fuel tank. Got that all polished up. There was a rainy day job on. Air filter down here that I showed you last time. Can give that a bit more of a polish on the end there on that badge once it's all fitted back up. These bits along here you've seen before. I actually filmed some footage of this earlier this morning, and then the memory card filled up, and I wanted to start filming another the start of the next stage of reassembly. So I accidentally deleted the footage I took earlier. So we're going to have to do a little bit of a back in time here and there, but here we go. Here's the main engine block with its coat of paint. Cut new gaskets. It's a rainy day job. There's new exhaust gasket, inlet gasket there. I've even done the ones under the oil fillers. You'll see in the start of the next episode where I'm putting this back together. I've started filming that already just to get a head start, putting that reduction gearbox back on. So yeah, anyway, a little sneak peek ahead, I guess, at what's going on. We'll catch up with you in the next episode. By the end of the next one, I'm planning on having this thing up and running. The engine, anyway. Cool, I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Subscribe to carry on watching my progress. And yeah, like I said, we'll see you on the next episode. Cheers.